Mr. Muldoon.
All right, hey everybody, Matt here from Around Square, and wanting to do a little video for you introducing some of the products that we've got coming down in our November 2020 product launch. It's coming up this coming Friday, which happens to be Black Friday, which it was a coincidence, but I guess a good one. I don't usually do much for Black Friday, but the timing just kind of overlapped this time, and so here we are. We've got a bunch of stuff, and some of it is like variations on stuff that we've launched before. Some of it's restocking. I'll try to run through fairly quick, but there's a lot of it. First of all, we've got the new wooden versions of the MK Ultras. So these Ultras have ended up being super popular, and so I've been kind of scrambling to get new versions out as quickly as I can. As you know, we started off like, I don't know, at least a year ago with our mala beads with the waxed cotton cord, and these were really meant just for wearing and for use with like quiet play, breath work, meditation, and that stuff. But we've since branched off into the Ultras, which is like a mala Komboloi version that's playable in more ways. And so I've downsized the beads a little bit to make them a bit more nimble. And we've got some versions coming out in using woods that I guess basically like the best sellers from the woods that we used for the mala beads. So we've got the Kusunoki, we've got Zebrano, and we've got Rosewood. So let me just show you the variants here. For each of the types of woods, we're going to have 3 styles at like slightly different price points. So we've got this is Kusunoki here. This is the straight wood one. Then we've got with a single titanium little boss bead as the kind of accent. And then we've got the full accent version with 3 titanium micro bosses and 1 titanium little boss. For people that want to kind of really play these hard, I'd kind of recommend going with the full accent version because it has a great weight just for slinging around. It has that momentum that you're used to from Buglers. The single boss bead looks nice, very functional, and it's more kind of conducive to this style of play where you're mainly holding the boss and doing a lot of like whirls and that sort of thing. The wooden versions definitely still play, but they're very light. So if you've been playing one of the metal versions, it's going to feel like you're slinging air. But I mean, you can do the tricks. The only thing that the wooden Ultras are not really great for is the raindrops. If you've got a metal version, you'll know the raindrops are really satisfying. You hear that clack and the beads just fall really smoothly. These little beads, they're 12 millimeters, and they're so light that even just like the little bit of friction on the string is enough to slow them down. You may be able to ream them out yourself to get them smoother. I didn't do that for these. It would take far too much work to do it for every set. And I don't really find it necessary. Like I've got a set that I wear a lot. This is actually my favorite. This is Kusunoki with a single titanium. And I wear this a lot and I play it a lot. And I actually really like the small hole here. I did this at 2 millimeters, so it would be perfect for this string. That way when you do the beadwork manipulation, you're not catching a rough edge. It's perfect for the string. And I want to show you this as well. Check this out. The raw Kusunoki, like a brand new set, versus the one that I've been playing. I don't know if the color is going to pick up on the camera, but it's like significantly darker and like richer looking on the one that I've been playing. Okay, so that's that. Moving on to the Zebrano, actually the same thing. I've used the same beads that we had for the regular mala beads as the boss bead on the wooden ones. And you can see the fresher, newer Zebrano beads are like way lighter in color. But this is the set that I've been playing myself, and you can see the colors almost match. And this is only after like a week and a bit of play. So don't worry about the contrast at the beginning. I think that'll all even out over time. But same thing. The beads are not like super smooth. You can see these ones actually hang on the cord. They don't come down at all. So don't buy these expecting to do raindrops, but they do work. If you smooth them out, put on a fresh string. The new sets, I think they come down a little bit better. So these are on a fresh string, not frayed at all. Yeah, they still bind a little bit, but yeah, don't buy it expecting raindrops, but they certainly work for everything else. All right. So the 3 Zebrano sets look like this. This is with the stainless steel accent. This is no accent, and this is the full accent with 3 stainless steel micro bosses at the top and a stainless steel little boss at the bottom. I should mention too that apart from the titanium, all of the accents are tumbled. So they have like a little bit of a darker, slightly rougher, like more textured looking finish. And then onto the rosewood. The rosewood is like, you know, obviously most one of the big favorites. A lot of people really like that dark, rich feeling, and it's got a really smooth grain texture as well. These ones slide on the string a little bit better than the Zebrano. Zebrano has a coarser grain, and so it binds on the string a bit more. But this is the full rosewood. Here it is with 1 brass accent, okay? And here it is with the full brass accents. Okay, so that is the wooden malas. Those ones are the original size from the original release, so like a roughly 12 millimeters or 11.8 for the accents, and a 15 millimeter boss bead. We have also long-awaited the Decas. This is the 10 millimeter version with the 11.8 millimeter boss bead, and we've got these now in the heavy metal versions, so stainless steel, brass, and copper. And these ones they're 21 beads. So they actually are like a reasonable bit smaller in circumference than the original ones. I heard from a number of people that were removing beads from the original ones, and so I thought that I would trim these down. Like probably like the biggest people aren't going to want to wear something small like this. So I thought like trim it down a little bit, take out a couple beads, and I can keep the cost a little bit more reasonable as well. We got the stainless steel and the brass, of course. Listen to that clack. And the copper. So I know people are waiting for the titanium version of this. I am restocking it. I've heard from the supplier that the beads are almost complete. So I'm hoping that sometime within the next few weeks, I'll be able to restock the titanium Decas. But until then, these are pretty gorgeous. They all have a machined finish. And yeah, I've been using my own copper set a lot. I don't have it here. All right, sticking with the theme, onto the exotic versions. Now these are back to the original size. And so we got 11.8 millimeters and 15 millimeters, 19 beads plus the boss. This is the full Zerk version, which is super stunning. I mean, I've never allowed myself to have one of the Zerk pieces. I have a couple of Mokutai or Zerkutai pieces in my own collection, but I love this material. It's just got such nice depth to it. Then we've got the Zerkutai. You can see here, I hope it shows up on camera. The grain on these and the colors are just fantastic. And you can see color variation, like some light blue down to like almost a dark purpley black. But they all have a little bit of color variation to them, and they all have great grain. And one thing about the Zerkutai compared to Mokutai, which is a selling point for me, is it's got a little bit of texture to it. So it's I'm not sure if they've been etched before the torching or what, but it's got a little bit of texture, which is just got a nice tactile feel to it. On my own set of titanium Decas, I've got one Zerk full boss, so it looks a little bit oversized, but I quite like it, and it as a thing to play with, I love it because it's a little bit more secure. I find the 12 millimeter bead kind of almost wants to slip through the fingers. The 15 millimeter is just great though. All right, and then over to Mokumegane, and again, like, what do you need to say about this material? It's absolutely stunning. This is fresh from the factory, and so the contrast isn't quite there in the grain, but it's got the copper with it, which will eventually like really pop. And currently, I'm out of the ferric chloride, so I'm not able to do the etching on these. I do ultimately plan to have an etched version, but that's not going to be in this initial launch. So here they are. These are the full sets. As I've mentioned online in a couple of places, I actually didn't really stock these with the intention or expectation of selling them. They're going to be very expensive, so be prepared for that. Don't hate me when you see the price. They're beautiful, but what I was really thinking of when I bought these was A, to use the beads to add a couple more exotic Bugleri to the range, and then B, to use them as accents. So I'm going to be selling accent packs, which are going to be a lot more reasonable in price than buying the full set. So if you've got like a set of the original size material, like titanium, copper, whatever, you might want to pick up a couple of accent beads. So I really don't ever want Around Square to turn into bead world. So I'm not going to be selling individual beads, but the accent packs, I don't know that you can see this here. I'm going to be selling 3 small and a large. So 3 11.8 millimeter beads plus 1 15 millimeter. And so that'll give you a look kind of like this. And you know, if you mix it in with one of the other metals, titanium or whatever, yeah, it'll be a nice look. So staying with those materials, I did mention that I was going to do some Bugleri. So we've got the Zircuti Micro Boss. So if you've been following my stuff online, you know that the Little Boss or the Micro Boss setup in titanium is one of my favorite Bugleri sets. And this is almost the same weight, and I mean, just gorgeous use of the materials. I'm going to be selling the Little Boss equivalent as well, 2 bead setup. And the same thing for Makumagane, the Little Boss setup. These guys are heavy. They're similar weight to copper and brass. And rather than doing 4 of the Micro Boss beads, which would be, I think, heavier than most people would want to play, I have added 2 Zebrano beads because the grain kind of matches, and these are the 15 millimeter Zebrano. So they'll make a very nice set. And similar for the Zirc, we've got the full Zirc 15 millimeter beads, Little Bosses. And then I've got Zirc, I've paired it with the Kusunoki because I felt like that was the best match in terms of the appearance. Okay. So that's those guys. Then sticking with the exotics for another minute, we're going to be restocking the zirconium Deadeyes. So these guys have been out of stock for a long time, and people have been wanting them. I finally got a batch back. So I'm expecting this batch to last a while. But yeah, I mean, as far as like a luxury Deadeye goes, these are real premium. They feel really nice. And going to do the same thing with the zirconium little hydras, mini hydras. So this is what I was calling the Slaytacular, which has 2 of all of the different colors of the acrylic beads, 4 of the clear acrylic, then 2 tumbled stainless steel beads, 2 tumbled brass, or bronze rather, and 4 of the polished zirconium. The reason I'm including these others is so that you can mix and match, because you've got obviously way more of the mini hydras than you would need otherwise. So that'll give you a lot of little mini hydra setups. And yeah, these have again I've sold them before, but they've been out of stock for a long time, and hopefully people will be into them. All right, getting close to the end here, but we can't forget the new Deadeyes. Yep, so here's the little stack. I posted a photo online recently. So these are the new Deadeyes with the new shape, texture, and with the option of either the knurling on the edges or no knurling. Okay, and they're slightly smaller than the original Deadeyes. Here's a little comparison. This is the large brass tumbled original Deadeye. So they're a little bit smaller than that, but what I like about them is like they have a nice edge on them. So for people that are used to more like traditional knuckle rolling, they'll catch the edge a little bit better, and you can palm them a little bit better. I've seen a couple of videos of some of my friends online doing stuff like that with the prototypes, and I quite like the knurled version myself. If you're looking for my own preference, the one I keep in my own pocket is a titanium with the knurling on the edge. But I actually really love the other metals. Like the heavier weight is actually in a lot of ways preferable to the titanium for play. These, if you're looking just for a worry stone, the original Deadeyes are smoother and more like comfortable and ergonomic. But if you're looking for something to do tricks with, these are probably like superior for play. And I mean, it's nice to rub the thumb on the ridges there, but in my opinion, like as just a straight up worry stone, the original is kind of hard to beat. Anyways, so we're gonna have these in stainless steel, copper, brass, and titanium. All right, I think that's it. Who knows, may have a few extra little surprises in there, depending on what arrives at my shop this week. Waiting on a bunch of deliveries. Got a ton of, can't even forget. Yeah, there's a new Bugleri reveal. So check it out if you want to see the new Bugleri. It's something that I want to acknowledge Mitch, our buddy Muscle Bones online. He was involved in the kind of prototyping of it. I was bouncing some ideas off of him, and he agreed to like play test it with me, and him and I share some favorites as far as our favorite Bugleri setups, and I knew that he would love that one, and sure enough he did. So I want to shout him out a little bit, and if you don't know Muscle Bones, check him out on YouTube and on Instagram as well. He's, you know, top tier player and a great community member. Anyways, everybody, that's already longer than I wanted to go on for, so thanks for hearing me out, and check your emails for some more details. Otherwise, drop time is 7 p.m. Pacific on Friday, this Friday. I think it's the 27th, maybe. Anyways, check your calendar. Don't trust me. Okay, see ya.
Mr. Malto.